Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 15th today. You have an early dismissal today, so keeping track of when it is that you're going to leave class. Today, we're going to be taking a look at all that stuff that I gave you prior to Christmas break, the Major Paper 3 Step 1, and you are going to be working with your groups to determine what exactly you want to do with that. So remember before Christmas break, I wanted you to think about the essays in the 50 essays book in a way that would help you think about like how those essays affect or the themes from those essays affect our community. So this is the sheet that I gave you. On pages 21 through 23, you'll see that the essays are divided into different theme categories like education, ethics, family, gender, history and politics, identity, media and pop culture, race and culture, reading and writing, thinking, nature and the environment, and work and class. And I said that I wanted you to, before Christmas break, choose those three of those themes, and kind of brainstorm after reading or skimming the articles and reading a few of them, how those kind of relate to our community. So then I said what you wanted to do is you wanted to think about a photograph that you could take that could serve as the background of a poster and share it with your teacher. You're going to be doing that right now during class now. And then a thesis with the image that is a working argumentative thesis, a split thesis. And that should be in the text of the email that you send or the Google Doc that you share with your picture. I also want to know who are three people that you know who you could interview about the problem or concern or area or whatever it is. Think about these different types of people, as well as finding a research article that kind of goes along with that theme and with that topic. So you'll take a look at here, Tuesday, January 14th, that was due, but now we're going to be actually using it today in class on the 15th. So today in class, I want you to get together in your groups and talk about the ideas that you individually came up with. Groups of 3 or 4. If you're in second period, you should be in a group of 4. If you're in fifth period, you should be in a group of 3. Remember that these are groups of people that you will be working with for 2 of your 3 major project grades this semester. Actually, 3, of your 4 major project grades this semester. So make sure that these are people that you feel like you can work with and work with well. Okay, so I'm going to kind of walk you through how to do a documentary pitch because that's what I'm asking you to put together over the next day so that you're ready to go tomorrow in class to present pitches to the rest of the class about ideas that you have. So I'm going to pretend that this is my documentary pitch idea. It's a working title. I'm not exactly sure what I would call it, but what's important seems like it is what I'm looking for right now. So I am going to be presenting this off the theme in the book. Hold on one second. I'm just finding it. So I'm going off of the theme of identity and thinking, kind of a little bit of both, because I think that when we talk to each other, we form our identities and we have to think a little bit about who we are. So my concept is what's important, the value of conversation to everyday happiness. So this is a picture. Now, I didn't put together my own photograph, but you need to use your own photograph and set it up. But this would be the picture for my poster design. I have 2 people of different generations kind of talking to each other, and that's kind of the concept behind it. So my thesis is, although changes in communication technologies make it easier to stay in touch, they also make it easier to avoid tough or meaningful conversations. Face-to-face connections raise happiness and fulfillment levels of individuals dramatically. So I'm going to be taking a look at communication technologies and how that's kind of changed the way we communicate with each other, and then also doing like a study of face-to-face communication. So these are the 4 people that I would be interviewing in this project. So the first one is Mrs. Breitenbach. She's our school psychologist, and I would talk to her because I think she's an expert on communication and how communication helps people. She's also an expert on mental health, and since I'm dealing with happiness, I want her to kind of give a concept of like, what is it that makes people happy? One of my friends goes to Northwestern University, and one of his professors in interpersonal communication study is Daniel O'Keefe, and I would contact him, hopefully through a Skype interview, or else I could go during one day and like drive into the city and kind of talk to him personally about it. But I would talk to him about communication and how interpersonal communication is so important for the world and things like that, and interview him with like authoritative questions about this topic. I would interview a bunch of MCHS teenagers. So I would be giving a survey asking teenagers if they're happy or unhappy, or if they avoid face-to-face communication with people. So a little bit of both. And I would look at people who answer the survey questions in saying yes, they are unhappy, or they feel unhappy or disconnected from the school on a regular basis. And I would look at individuals who respond that they avoid face-to-face communication with people as much as possible. And I would interview them, asking them questions like why and things like that to get them. And then the last person that I would interview is my mom, Darlene Westfall. She is 82 years old, and she lives alone and has been living alone since my father died 7 years ago. And there are days that go by when she doesn't talk to anyone except for me, because I call her every day on the phone. And I want to talk to her a little bit about that, what it's like going from having a house full of family and everything like that to living alone, and then having the conversation only through me when I'm able to reach out to her on the phone. Okay, so this is my article link, Intimacy in Face-to-Face versus Computer Interaction. It's by Emily Snow. It was written in 2007, and it's basically an undergraduate review paper that she wrote about the process of face-to-face communication and how computer interaction kind of changes that, like comparing the two. It's a great article, and I intend to use it as well as the reference page for it to kind of give everybody an idea of what I want to do. Last, my field research idea. I was thinking for this project I would conduct a 2-week experiment, and I would sit down and I'd make a list of all of the conversations that I'd really like to have with people, like specific people. Some of the conversation example questions is that I'd like to ask like someone who is unhappy, what makes them happy. I would want to ask my mom how she feels about getting older. And I could also ask someone who's like middle-aged about how they feel about getting older. I'd like to talk to somebody who has like a different belief system than me and ask them what they believe in, like what is one thing that they really believe. Mr. Perla would be great for that because we do have different religions, so we could talk a little bit about that. And then I'd want to ask somebody who was in love for the first time, how did you know that it was love? Because I think that was a good conversation. It's also a conversation I'd actually like to have with my husband, how he knew that I was the one that he wanted to marry. Okay, so that's my idea, and I would record those, and I would rate the level of happiness of myself and the participants 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after to see if they feel happier after the conversation or more fulfilled or something like that. Okay, so that's kind of what I want you to do. If you look at this, you've got your title slide, you've got your thesis statement and the picture that you would use for your poster. You've got the list of people you would interview and why you would interview them. You have an article link that's a scholarly article. And then lastly, you would end with your field research idea. What's an idea that you would do that would actually be like you participating in this documentary? Okay, so what I want you to do right now is I want you to get together in your groups and I want you to plan on this pitch. This has got to be a fast plan because hopefully you've thought about all this over Christmas break yourself as an individual. You just have to kind of decide on a direction. Tomorrow in class, you're going to be pitching to the rest of the class. So live presentations, not screencasts this time, telling the rest of the class what you're thinking of for your project. All right, have a great day.